Everyone knows that Sanji is easily charmed by women, but there are times when he goes beyond the limits and comes close to death due to nosebleeds. Knowing this, in this video, I have separated 11 moments when our favorite cook nearly died upon encountering so much beauty. To start, we have the episode where Sanji faces his lookalike, that handsome guy who was mistakenly identified by the Marines and ended up on the wanted poster of the real Sanji. During this confusion, Sanji is trapped in a cage and thrown into the sea, but luckily Cammy dives in to save him. The problem is that he is very close to the mermaid and obviously almost dies from bleeding from his nose. The next moment happens during the cruise reunion after the time skip. You probably remember that Sanji spent all that time training on an island with not a single woman, so he goes even crazier when he sees a woman. The first time this happens is when he encounters Zoro with the goddess Perona. He doesn't come close to death in this scene, but it's one of his strangest reactions to a woman, so I thought it was cool to include it in this list. However, in the next scene, he truly comes close to his limit. In the same episode, he encounters an older Nami and Robin, and at that moment, the guy can't hold himself and becomes a nosebleed rocket. Still in this episode, when the crew needs to leave the archipelago because of the Marines, the wonderful Boa Hancock decides to help her beloved Luffy. At this point, Sanji and the others learn that the captain spent some time on the island of women, and after feeling envious, he takes the opportunity to admire her beauty, but, of course, he turns to stone like most men who look at her. Now, moving on to the Fishman Island arc, which is undoubtedly the best place for Sanji, he along with the other companions, is taken by Cammy to explore more of the island. The problem is that they arrive at a place with several mermaids gathered. At this moment, the cook can't hold himself and gets very emotional, even saying that he found the all blue. Even Luffy is surprised, commenting that he's crying more than the day he left the restaurant. But it's after this drama that he reaches his peak, almost dying for real in the anime. After enjoying the moment with the mermaids, the guards searching for Luffy arrive at the location. At this point everyone hides, but one of the mermaids ends up hiding the cook in a different place, where he can't handle his happiness and nearly dies. As if that weren't enough, in this arc he also meets Princess Shirahoshi, who besides being very beautiful, is also the largest mermaid on the island. During this arc, Sanji takes a while to see her in person, but when she is behind him, Chopper begs him not to look, fearing that it might lead to his death. In response, the great cook gives a motivational speech about being ready to die to fulfill his dream. Then he looks at Shirahoshi and turns to stone just like he did with Boa Hancock, but apparently, the effect was even more powerful. Continuing, while Zoro is fighting the bird woman, Sanji is responsible for helping the other Marines escape. However, he passes through the middle of their fight and ends up seeing the woman, which makes him lose focus again. This even leads the Marines to think that the woman is powerful just for defeating the cook without doing anything. Moving to Zou Island, where the Mink tribe lives, for those who don't remember, they have a rather pleasant way of greeting humans. Of course, knowing this, Sanji wouldn't stay out of it. He quickly takes the opportunity to get close to several minks. In this scene, he encounters Miss Nami dressed in a sensual manner and tries to approach her like the minks do, but this certainly doesn't end well, and he just flies away from her strike. Since this list is in the order of each anime arc, the next one that can't be missed is the whole cake arc. When Sanji is being taken to marry Big Mom's daughter, he doesn't show any happiness because it was against his will, but within seconds, he changes his mood when they show his future bride. Seeing how beautiful Pudding is, he nearly has a heart attack. Returning to Miss Nami, while she is having problems with Shinobu and Robin, Sanji is simply hiding and spying on everything. With the help of the Germa 66 suit, he manages to be completely invisible. But during this scene, Nami accidentally drops her towel, and at that moment, the cook can't hold himself and ends up revealing that he was watching her. In fact, her beauty not only affects his companion but also makes everyone around fall in love. After the big victory in the Wano arc, the crew decides to relax in the hot springs, but to some people's surprise, Yamato joins the boys. Seeing all that beauty, Sanji nearly turns the water red from bleeding so much from his nose and even flies away as usual. But this is how we conclude the list. Leave in the comments if there are other Sanji scenes that could complement this video, so I can make a part 2. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.